Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum all my dear friends and English literature aspirants. This is your host Samia Umar and you're watching M.A. English Part 1 and 2 Notes by Samia Umar. Today we are going to study M.A. English Part 1 Poetry Rape of the Lock written by Alexander Pope. Question that I'm sharing is the most important question, the mock epic. So let's quickly jump over to the question. The mock epic. How far do you agree that the Pope has successfully exploited the mock epic form to satirize the fashionable 18th century English society in The Rape of the Lock? According to Aristotle, an epic is a long narrative poem in verse embodying the tragedy of a conspicuous person who is involved in adventurous events and meets a tragic fall on account of some error of judgment, that is, hamartia, which throws him from prosperity to adversity. His death is not essential. Subject matter of an epic is of great and momentous importance. That is why the language is also grand and bombastic. भी नेक्स्ट यहाँ पे कोट आ रहा है जो कि आप मेंशन कर सकते हैं विच विल गिव अ वेरी गुड इम्प्रेशन ऑन द एग्जामिनर और चेकर अकॉर्डिंग टू पोप द use of pompous expression for low action is the perfection of the mock epic. A mock epic is also called mock heroic epic because in it trivial subjects are inflated with false dignity. Or it is a parody of epic norms. The Rape of the Lock is a mock epic, but it is a refinement on earlier mock epics like Nun's Priest's Tale and others. Tilston's view is that in The Rape of the Lock, Pope mocks at the maximum amount of the epic. In the age in which Pope lived is called the Age of Satire, and Pope is preeminently a satirist because most of his poetry embodies the clear tints of this genre. Satire is a sort of literary device by which a satirist undertakes the fault-finding process without offending the victim. Pope satirizes the fashionable lot of 18th century, utilizing the mock epic form. Dr. Johnson, while commenting on The Rape of the Lock, says that The Rape of the Lock is the most attractive of all Ludwig's composition. De Quincey is of its view that The Rape of the Lock is an exquisite monument of playful fancy. Lowell and Goose call it a perfect poem, and Donne, as perfect specimen of the poetic burlesque, Hazlitt too pays a great tribute to the poem. From the above views, the opinion that emerges is that The Rape of the Lock is a very refined mock epic. Pope used many devices and methods in order to make The Rape of the Lock a mock epic, but on the whole, he relies on the method of diminution. That is, everything happens on a diminished scale. The diminution of an epic material is noticeable throughout the poem. The pompous and exalted style of the true epic has been used for the ordinary, the trivial, and the insignificant subject matter. The subject matter of The Rape of the Lock is ordinary. It is a dispute pertaining to love affair between a young fashionable lady, Blenda, and a gentleman, Baron. Baron proposed his name for marriage to Blenda, who rejected his proposal. Consequently, Baron cut one of her beautiful locks. So the subject is trivial, but this trivial theme has been given epical treatment as if it were some grave event of paramount importance. He has used highly pompous and bombastic language for low action. For example, the process of Blenda's makeup has been termed as adoration, the sacred rites of pride. While describing the beauty of Blenda, he calls the fairest of models and the brightest of fair. Her dream is called Mystic Vision and Betty is called as Inferior Priestess. Similarly, the game of Omer has been described as a war of nerves. The table has been termed as the battlefield. The dispersed cards have been dubbed as Rooted Army, etc. In the same way, the scissors have been described as two-edged weapon, little engine, fatal engine, etc. Fans and bodkins as deadly weapons, deadly spears. So he has used bombastic language to describe ordinary things, and the purpose is to heighten the mock epical effect. Similarly, the title of the poem, The Rape of the Lock, is also mock epical. Rape is a serious offense, which means the violation of a woman's chastity by force. But Pope has used this term in an amusing way. The possession of the hair by Arabella by Peter is ironically described by him the rape of the lock. So, the title evokes nothing but the mock heroic sensation. The rape of the lock contains numerous mock heroic images which enhance the effect of fundamental irony. He has used a very bombastic and pompous expression for trivial and ordinary actions. For example, to describe the reaction of Blenda on the cutting of her lock, he has given a mythical reference. Not Fiest, Othello is so loud, a strain roared for the handkerchief that caused his pain. Here, Pope has also personified things for the purpose of heightening of effect. That is, inanimate objects are invested with living attributes. For example, he personifies the sun and compare its grandeur with that of Blenda. He also personifies anger through goddess of spleen, and her two servants personify ill nature and affectation. In a mock epic, great things are made look small, and small things are made look great. It means that the standards of great and small are confounded. For example, in the following lines, staining of honor, and loss of lady's chastity are equated with loss of new brocade and the breaking of a Chinese jar. Whether the nymph shall break Diana's law or some frail china jar receive a flaw. Similarly, in these lines, the death of a lapdog is equated with death of a husband to a lady. Not louder shrieks to pitying heaven are cast when husbands or when lapdogs breathe their last. Pope has also used other mock heroic methods. For example, he has used aerial machinery to raise his expression. It is ridiculous that Blenda, an ordinary fashionable girl, has been shown being protected by thousands of spirits. In the same manner, the trivial game of Ombre has been compared with a game grave of nerves. The ordinary fight between the supporters of Blenda and those of Baron has been compared with the fatal war between gods and goddesses. Their hair pins and fans, etc., with which they have been termed as deadly weapons, spears, etc. An essential prerequisite of a mock epic is that there should be a peculiar passion. In Unspree's tale, the peculiar passion was flattery, and in the rape of the lock, it is coquette. Pope has introduced through Blenda a group of fashionable women, and in this way he criticizes the coquetry. The entire poem, in fact, is a sharp satire on coquetry and coquettish attitude. There is also a difference between an epic and a mock epic. An epic is of considerable length, while a mock epic, on the other hand, is shorter than epic. Similarly, hero of an epic is an extraordinary person. As against that, in a mock epic, the hero is an ordinary person because the subject matter of mock epic is also trivial and ordinary. In the rape of the lock, there is one heroine only, and she is a fashionable butterfly who screams and cries at the loss of her lock like epic heroes, and this is quite humorous. Then flash the living lightning from her eyes, and screams of horror rend the affrighted skies. ये टेक्सुअल कोट है, ये आपने लाजमी ऐड करना है अपने क्वेश्चन में. Another requirement of epic hero is that he performs certain rites and offers prayers in order to achieve success. He addresses goddesses and gods and invokes their help. In the rape of the lock, there is an imitation of such rites and prayers when Baron burns the fire in order to get Blenda. For this, Phoebus rose. He had implored propitious heavens, and an epic hero has to undertake a mortal battle, but in this case, he simply goes to cut the lock. Similarly, before going on an adventure, an epic hero makes certain preparations, and Blenda's makeup is a parody of that preparation. Then, in an epic, the hero uses deadly weapons to win the war, but here the weapons are not traditional. There are pins, eyes, and bodkins. So, all requirements of a true epic have been imitated, but for an ordinary objective. An epic normally opens with an innovation to some god or goddesses, and the Rape of the Lock also begins with an innovation. In this very starting lines, Pope addresses the gods to find out the riddle that why Lord Baron cut the lock. Say what strange motive goddess could compel a well bred lord to assault. Grief predominates in an epic. There are a number of lines in The Rape of the Lock which describe that the grief of Blenda was very melting. For example, there is a show of violent grief when the lock of Blenda was cut. She expresses her grief in these words: Forever cursed be this detested day which snatched my best, my favorite curl away. So, to conclude, we can say that Pope has remarkably done a great job in making The Rape of Lock a brilliant piece of art. The Rape of the Lock has all the qualities of a mock heroic poem which throws a huge satire at the fashionable English society of 18th century. As Hazlitt observes, it is the triumph of insignificance, the apotheosis of foppery and folly. It is the perfection of the mock heroic. Okay, students, this is all for now. This is your host, Samya Umar, signing off from M.A. English Literature Part 1 and 2 notes. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel for more informative and quality notes videos. Allah Hafiz.